Aloha, welcome to my documentary on Hotel Street during World War II and later years. So it's a documentary on how sailors have spent their time here over the decades. Basically, you can break it down into three categories. They would get drunk, they would get laid, and they would get tattooed. So for the first part, imagine this neighborhood, seamen everywhere, standing in line at bars. Now, when you go into a bar, everybody there is going to be from the same ship. They would just go as a group and kind of claim that bar for their ship. Now, what's in the shop behind me is the oldest bar in Hawaii, Smith's Union Bar. And the boys who drank there were from the USS Arizona. So imagine them, they get to the front of the bar, and they're ordering bottom shelf stuff. They're drinking whiskey, bourbon, and Five Islands gin, which, by the way, is said to be such rot gut stuff that if a sailor drank too much of this, his chest hair would start falling out. Here's the outside of Smith's Union Bar. Imagine 60 plus sailors here, and they're getting drunker and drunker. Eventually, one of them's gonna crack, and he's gonna say to his buddies, "I'm in love. I'm in love with one of the prostitutes. She's my girlfriend." And his buddy's gonna smack him and say, "She's not your girlfriend. She's everybody's girlfriend." There's a hula girl photo booth photo in here. Here's a couple examples. For 75 cents, a sailor could get his photograph taken with an authentic Hawaiian hula girl. And she was Chinese. See this guy in the picture? I met his grandson, and his grandson shared this photo with me. So, thank you very much. Here's the hula girl photo in Smith's Union Bar. As you can see, they were authentic Irish hula girls. Now, some of these girls would have lines drawn on their arms, and that is where a sailor could put his hand. I love this picture. That girl, she is selling that leg. Over here, we have a table dedicated to Lauren Bruner, who survived the Pearl Harbor attack. And he came back and he drank here every Pearl Harbor Day for decades to commemorate his fallen friends. If you want to know how he survived, check out my YouTube video, Love, Tragedy, and the Oldest Bar in Hawaii. Also in the bar is a great picture of the swing club and also the risque theater. So I'm going to tell you about the risque theater next. Across from Smith's Union Bar, you got the risque theater. The marquee was in a fire, well, as was the rest of the building. Anyway, the neon burned off, so it's not going to light up ever again. But for a while, it used to be an adult bookstore. You know, these millennials, they have it so easy with their Pornhub. They don't have to leave their rooms for pornography. They got it in their pocket 24/7. But, you know, back in the day, you wanted to see some boobies. You had to sneak out, you know, come here. You had to buy your Playboy, your Hustler, your Penthouse, and maybe have like an awkward conversation with the guy behind the desk. Now, if you wanted to watch a pornographic movie, you had to go to the back of the shop, put quarters in a machine, and watch the movie through goggles in front of whoever else was in the shop with you. And I had a local blurt out one day when I was telling the story, "Yeah, and the partitions only went shoulder high." I have had grown men tell me with a wistful nostalgia how this place was the only place on the island to have a Ms. Pac-Man machine. And they spent hours of their youth on this Ms. Pac-Man machine. This place sold titty magazines, but that is what they remember. Yeah. Here I am in front of Bar 35. It used to be the swing club, and I don't know if you're into jazz or not. Yeah, me neither. But this is where Duke Ellington played. I kid you not. Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, Sarah Vaughan, they played here. Whoa. I just found out that the swing club branched out into a different kind of act. Check out this cool advertisement I found in a magazine. So let me tell you about Club Hubba Hubba live nude shows. First of all, there were no dead nude shows in the area. Live nudes means it's not a VHS or a video, so let that question be answered. This place opened in 1953, and for this brief, wonderful period, this marquee was up at the same time as the Swing Club marquee. Now, if you have any photos of them together, because I only have the one photo, please send them to me. Just saying. Now, Club Hubba Hubba, the owner put in the longest catwalk for the girls to strut their stuff on. He had a 5-piece live band, so music lovers could come here for the music. Now, this place stayed open for a very long time. It was in an episode of Hawaii Five-0. It was in an episode of Magnum P.I. Tom Selleck even dated one of the dancers. I think her name was like Devon. It stayed open until 1997, when it finally closed. It still had a 5-piece live band. It still had the longest catwalk in Hawaii. It also had the oldest strippers in Hawaii as well. That's right, they would strut their stuff on stage, and they lived on the second floor. Today the second floor is a yoga studio, so I like to think that the legacy of flexibility is maintained in the building today. Climbing the stairs. Getting screwed in Chinatown was easy for a sailor. There were more than 20 brothels in the area. Here's a picture of the boys waiting in line for their turn, standing in the hot sun. By the time a guy got to the front of the line, he might be the prostitute's 50th client that day. And they say romance is dead. Brothels were called boogie houses, and because they were always on the second floor, the euphemism for visiting a brothel was climbing the stairs. Now, when a sailor climbed the stairs, he would pay $3, and he would get 3 minutes alone with a woman. I know what you're thinking. What do you do with the other 2 minutes? Now I get to show you my matchbook collection. The boogie houses advertised the same way every other business did, matchbooks. Boys were hired to hand them out on military bases. So here's the matchbook for the bungalow rooms. Here is me in front of the bungalow rooms. This matchbook is for the Rex rooms. This is where the prostitute Jean O'Hara worked out of. If you want to know more about her, you can check out my other video, Honolulu Harlot. And then my funniest matchbook is the Bell rooms. Here's a drawing of an old man smiling, and it says, "This man patronizes us." And then if you flip the matchbook upside down, it's of a man frowning, and it says, "This man wishes he had." Now I have an earnest request. If you know anyone who worked in a boogie house, please ask if I can interview her. It can be anonymous. Her experiences would be fascinating to perverts like me. And if you know anyone who climbed the stairs, I'd be interested in his experiences as well. My email address is on screen for you. Stewed, screwed, and tattooed. Why are so many sailor guys getting tattoos? Well, they go as a group. It's like camaraderie, you know, and also a little bit of individuality. They all get to have the same haircut, same uniform. Tattoo makes you a little different. Bonus feature, if your face gets blown off in battle, your body can still be identified by your tattoo. Rock on. Now, in this neighborhood, World War II, there's about 33 Filipino artists, and they're tattooing hundreds of men a day. Besides from those 33 Filipino artists, a tattoo artist who came out here and really made his mark on history was Sailor Jerry. So this is his mural over here. This is Sailor Jerry's famous shop. This is where he tattooed a whole bunch of sailors over the years. If you're an Ed Hardy fan, then no. Ed Hardy apprenticed here for years under Sailor Jerry. Now, it was said if you want a tattoo of a ship with the rigging done right, you go to Jerry. And this is a great example of that. Oh, and here he is. This is a picture of him with Johnny Walker. Yeah. Now, when you come by, you look in the window, you look at his fantastic artwork, you're gonna see that he loves drawing naked ladies. This tattoo was done by Sailor Jerry about 50 years ago. Now, this guy, very nice guy, he came on my tour a couple years ago. I asked him, why did you get a rooster hanging from a noose on your calf? And he says, so when I'm at a bar, I can bet the guy next to me a drink, I've got a cock that hangs below my knees. That was my little documentary. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you want to know more about this, I give a whole historical walking tour all about it. So if you find yourself in Honolulu, check out my website for details. Well, thank you for watching. Until next time, aloha.